Well, hello there. Welcome to this edition of Thought for the Week. I'm so glad to have this opportunity to speak to you about one of my great Bible heroes, Simon Peter, the big fisherman, as he's often been described. A thoroughly remarkable man who had a humble beginning as a fisherman on the Sea of Galilee, but under the hand of God, he became a mighty apostle, used by the Lord to evangelize not only Jewish people, but Gentiles as well. And we're looking at one of those episodes in Acts chapter 10, which involved Peter and a Roman centurion named Cornelius. Cornelius was a remarkable man. He'd actually associated himself with the Jewish synagogue in Caesarea, or so it would seem, because Luke describes him as a very devout man. And that means that he was worshipping the Lord God of Israel, although a Roman soldier. Now, the reason for that is that the Roman religions, notice I use the plural because there were many of them, they had no reality in them at all. They were pagan. No man could find God through a pagan religion, only the truth of God's holy word. But he was devout and associated himself with a Jewish synagogue in order to be taught how the God of Israel expects us to live. And so we see the background here. Cornelius, having been thoroughly prepared for his encounter with Peter, as Peter had been thoroughly prepared by God for his encounter with Cornelius. Isn't that interesting? Same situation, but the Lord working from both ends at once. I find it utterly intriguing to see God at work in this sort of situation. So Peter hears these men knocking at the front door of Simon the tanner in Joppa. He goes down to greet them, and this is a moment of truth. You see, it's one thing to be shown divine principles, which he had been shown, but quite another to be given opportunity to put it into practice. And as Peter opened the front door of the house of Simon the tanner, he was confronted by these men, clearly Gentiles, clearly servants of a Roman soldier. This was the moment then. Was he going to act on what God had shown him, or was he going to run a mile and slam the door? Big moment for decision, wasn't it? But verse 23 tells us this. When Peter heard what the point of the visit was from these men, it says this, then Peter invited the men into the house to be his guests. Now, there again, we find another fascinating development in Peter's thinking. You see, he had been up on the rooftop praying when he saw the vision. He had previously gone to live at the house of Simon the tanner. There was development happening here. And here's another stage. He invited the men into the house, a Jewish home, inviting Gentiles into his friend's home. Well, this was unheard of. But it shows that God was dealing with him. Somebody once said, God's not finished with me yet. He wasn't finished with Peter yet either. And I'm so glad that he's not finished with me. And I'll tell you something else. He's not finished with you. Why not let the Lord deal with you this week and change you in ways he wants to? Quite a thought, huh? Well, Lord bless you, and I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.